Chapter 3. Demand, Supply, and Market Equilibrium. Markets bring together buyers, demanders, and sellers, suppliers. Some markets are local, while others are national or international. Markets help to determine the prices and quantities bought and sold of millions of goods and services. Demand is a schedule or curve that shows the various amounts of a product that consumers will buy at each of a series of possible prices during a specific period. The law of demand states that all else equal, as price falls, the quantity demanded rises, and vice versa. To draw a demand curve, consider an individual's demand for lattes per month. If each cup was $5, our consumer would only buy 10 cups of latte per month. At $4, she would buy 20. At $3, she would buy 35. At $2, she would buy 55. And at $1, she would buy 80 lattes a month, almost 3 cups per day. We can plot these points on the graph. On the vertical axis, we mark the prices, and on the horizontal axis, we find corresponding quantities. Connecting the dots, we get a demand curve for lattes. It slopes down to reflect the law of demand. The higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded. We just analyzed individual demand, the demand schedule or curve of a single consumer. Market demand is the sum of all the individual demands. Market demand is determined by consumers' tastes, preferences, the number of consumers in the market, consumers' incomes, the prices of related goods, and expected prices. While quantity demanded changes as a result of price changes, demand can also increase or decrease. The whole demand curve can shift. Shifts of the demand curve are changes in demand. Movements along the demand curve are changes in quantity demanded. Supply is a schedule or curve showing the amounts of a product that producers will make available for sale at each of a series of possible prices during a specific period. The law of supply states that all else equal, as price rises, the quantity supplied rises, and vice versa. Shifts of the supply curve are changes in supply. Movements along the supply curve are changes in quantity supplied. Let's draw a supply curve. Suppose a coffee shop is willing to supply 60 lattes per month at a price of $5. At a lower price of $4, the shop will only be willing to sell 50 lattes. At $3, 35 cups. At $2, 20, and only 5 cups of latte if they were to be sold at $1 per cup. We can again plot these combinations of prices and quantity supplied on the graph. Price is on the vertical axis, quantity supplied on the horizontal. Connecting the dots, we get the supply curve. It slopes up to reflect the law of supply. At a higher price, firms are willing to sell more. Market supply is derived from individual supply by horizontally adding the supply curves of the individual producers. Market supply is determined by resource prices, technology, taxes and subsidies, prices of other goods, expected price, and the number of sellers in the market. Demand and supply give us market equilibrium. In a competitive market, neither buyers nor sellers can set the price. Intersection of demand and supply curves determines equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. Equilibrium price in the competitive market is the price at which quantity supplied is equal to quantity demanded. Equilibrium quantity is the quantity demanded and quantity supplied that occur at equilibrium price in the competitive market. Any price above the equilibrium price would create a surplus or excess supply when quantity supplied exceeds quantity demanded. Surpluses drive prices down to equilibrium. As prices fall, the incentive to produce declines, and the incentive for consumers to buy increases. Any price below the equilibrium price would create a shortage, or excess demand, when quantity demanded exceeds quantity supplied. Shortages push prices up equilibrium. As prices rise, the incentive to produce increases and the incentive for consumers to buy decreases. Government occasionally concludes that market prices are unfairly high to buyers or unfairly low to sellers. Government may then place legal limits on how high or low a price or prices may go, creating price ceilings or price floors. A price ceiling limits price increase and thus creates a shortage of the product. A price floor limits price decrease and creates surplus of the product. Thus, government-controlled prices distort resource allocations and cause negative side effects. Consider this on the diagram. Suppose we have the following market demand and market supply, which intersect at the price of $3 per latte, at which price quantity supplied and quantity demanded are both equal to 7,000 cups per month. Now, suppose that the government established a $4 per cup price floor, maybe in order to limit caffeine addiction. At that price, market quantity supplied is equal to 10,000 lattes per month, but market quantity demanded is only equal to 4,000 cups per month. As a result, there is a surplus of 6,000 cups per month. Now suppose that the government instead imposes a price ceiling of $2 per cup, maybe in order to boost coffee consumption and increase productivity, or to make lattes accessible to all. At this price, consumers would want to buy 11,000 cups of latte per month, but the supply is only 4,000 cups. Thus, there is a shortage of lattes equal to 7,000 cups per month. Changes in demand and supply will affect equilibrium price and quantity. Let us consider them one at a time. Changes in demand when supply is constant. An increase in demand will result in a higher equilibrium price and quantity. A decline in demand will result in a lower equilibrium price and quantity. Changes in supply when demand is constant. An increase in supply will result in a lower equilibrium price and a higher equilibrium quantity. A decline in supply will result in a higher equilibrium price and a lower equilibrium quantity. Things are more complex when demand and supply both change. A combination of supply increase and demand decrease will lead to a lower price, but an ambiguous change in quantity. If supply decreases and demand increases, the price will rise and the change in quantity will be again ambiguous. If both supply and demand increase, the equilibrium quantity will go up, but the price may fall or rise. Conversely, when both supply and demand decrease, the equilibrium quantity will fall, but the price again may fall or rise.